Why don't we jump into the news? Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla announced yesterday that they intend to give away 99% of their Facebook stock's value as part of something they call the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. They also announced the arrival of their baby girl Max, who was born last week. Alex Kantrowitz is a senior technology reporter for BuzzFeed News and joins us to talk about this story. Welcome to the show, Alex.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
I'm so glad you're here to talk about this story. Now, you pointed out that the media are claiming that Facebook's money or stock, the current value of which is $45 billion thereabouts, give or take $1 billion, is all going to, quote, charity, unquote. But the press made that up, didn't they?
Well, I think that in the rush to figure out what exactly happened, many of them just assumed that all this money was going to charity. But the truth is a little bit different. So, of course, there'll be money that will go directly to charity, but there's also plenty of money that will be used, for instance, for advocacy or to participate in policy debates and even make private investments. So it's going to be a real range of uses for this money, and it's not just charity.
Now, if I can follow up on that, Kevin, I'm sorry to jump in here, but participating in policy debates, that's a euphemism for lobbying, right?
I mean, it's been left intentionally vague, I think. Who knows what it will be used for? Maybe it will be used for lobbying. Maybe it will be used to run ads on the air that show different policy perspectives. I think right now it's clear that Zuckerberg and Chan left this open to give them the most amount of wiggle room in the future in terms of how much they'll be able to spend and on what.
So, Alex, either way, whatever this is spent on, I mean, this is a potentially very good thing, and I love to see this kind of investment from people who have the money and can afford to do it. But it seems like they've set up this whole initiative as an LLC or limited liability company, less so, I guess, a charity. I mean, I'm sure you could set a charity up as an LLC as well. What do you think the advantages might be for doing that, or their decision-making process to actually do it this way?
Right, Kevin. Everyone's hammering me today because they're calling my story cynical and for pointing out that this was a LLC and not a charitable trust. I don't really see it that way. I think that there still could be a ton of good that can be done from this initiative. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a charitable trust. In fact, an LLC might give them a chance to be a little bit more flexible. And who says giving money away is the only way to do good in the world? You know, if they think that there's certain investments that they want to make that will end up being going to the end that they want to see, then who knows, maybe that can work out just as well. So just because it's not a charity doesn't mean it's not good. But it's not a charity.
It also doesn't mean that it is good. And I like your cynicism, and I like the debate that was launched from this. Essentially what happened is that Zuckerberg and Chan announced this, and then they were hit by a barrage of snarky comments on Twitter, followed by a barrage of people criticizing the snark, and so on. I, for one, think it's reasonable to give credit whenever actual good has been done, but not at the point where somebody says, I'm eventually going to do something good. I also especially think that that's a prudent way forward, given what we learned from Internet.org. Internet.org is a thing. I don't even know what it is. Unlike this company, this LLC, Internet.org doesn't appear to be a separate organization, as far as I can tell, from Facebook. And it appears that its main mission is, number one, to get people using the internet, and number two, to get people using Facebook. So Internet.org is presented as, and is generally believed to be, a charitable organization of some kind, but in fact it seems to just be geared toward expanding the already enormous Facebook user base. Am I being unfair to Facebook and to Zuckerberg, Alex, or do you think that that's a reasonable position to be skeptical given what we've learned from Internet.org?
I think that a little skepticism is warranted. Hang on one second.
It's probably Mark.
I think a little skepticism is warranted. But look, if I was somebody who didn't have internet and it was provided to me through Internet.org, even though it's being used to achieve Facebook's mission, I'd probably be happy about it. So if I'm going to get money from this new initiative and it's going to help me accomplish some good stuff, I'll probably be happy with it. As long as it stays to, activities that people generally can agree are good, such as curing disease, clean energy, reducing poverty, equal rights. These are things that Zuckerberg listed in his post as areas of interest. But when it starts to get into the policy debate, like another thing that he mentioned was he wants to help connect people. Well, that's very similar to what Facebook does. So I think that as long as it stays along some like universal good then people will generally be appreciative of it. But if it strays from that, then there's going to be more questions for Zuckerberg, and we'll make sure to ask them.